You know, I left home at 11 years old. You know, I was working 4 nights a week playing drums at a club at 11 years old, living by myself on a trailer park. You know, because on one hand you could say, well, 11 years old, why didn't your parents? But on the other hand, I was out in a club 4 nights a week. It was fantastic. I learned how to cook bacon sandwiches at 11 years old. You know, you can't get any better than that, you know. It was fantastic. It was a great thing.
Well, this is the Celtic green and white stripes, and Francis is nuts. Hoops? Hoops, is that what it is? Well, I just know that Francis is nuts about the Celtics and soccer and football and all that stuff, and he's got these shirts and he always wears them. I thought the band and he were going to wear this. That's why I went and purchased one. And now, of course, I'm odd man out. So again, I look like a schmuck.
So he set you up.
He set me up, and I look like a schmuck, and I feel like a schmuck, and there you have it.
Yeah, that looks good.
No,
Got the best shirt in the house.
all right, beautiful.
It's only when you get the concept, when you get older and you do all that therapy stuff and you start going, well, my parents, well, you get that big stupid sob story going on, that's when it becomes a problem. But doing it, it was the greatest thing in the world. I cared with my parents. I was having a blast. I didn't give a shit about my parents. And my brother died last year, unfortunately, but he was probably the biggest influence on my life in terms of musically. The guy was a genius, absolute incredible, unbelievable musician. Frightening. You know, his music to me was just the best that ever was. He was just an unbelievable thing in my life, and I idolized him all my life and still do, even though he's gone. He just did things right. You know. Me and my sister always thought that, you know, all our lives growing up, it was like, you know, we just loved to hear like the next song he did, or he was just fantastic, man. And so I grew up with that as an influence, and and through him, I heard things like Alan Holdsworth and John McLaughlin, and like all them bands like Soft Machine, and like a lot of Focus and prog rock and Yes and Gentle Giant, and you know, all those bands from like that era. I suppose looking back, we just wanted to be like Genesis or Yes or UK or Bruford, like any of those. But we just loved all that stuff, so we didn't. And in amongst that, you know, you would find your own personality becoming, you know, coming forward. And it's been that I've been interested in for probably the last 10 years, trying to develop my own personality away from, you know, sounding like the early progressive rock bands and stuff like that.
He's a great songwriter. He's got an amazing sense of melody, and he's always thinking about the song when applying melody and rhythm and harmony and all that. And it's not about little bits and pieces and licks and stuff like that. It's just everything's got to work for the song, and you can just tell that. He's definitely a craftsman, and that's kind of the stuff that I gravitate towards, and he's definitely one of those people.
You know, Francis' band and his music is definitely, you know, pretty up there.
Well, Tall Blonde Helicopter, the title, came from somebody called me that. They said when I used to drink and stuff, and we'd all get together, all my friends, and you know, inevitably there'd be some like violence at the end of the night. We'd be like beating the shit out, you know, in a fight with somebody. And there was a club where we come from called the Tow Bar. It's called the Tow Bar Club, and I used to go down there when I was like 17 or 18, and you know, steaming drunk and all that stuff, and I'd fucking start ploughing into people. And some guy said, they said he saw me at about 1:30 in the morning. He said I looked like a fucking helicopter. He said my arms were flying like this, trying to punch people in the face. And that's what, you know, I thought it was an interesting. So I'd just shaved my head, so I just thought Tall Blonde Helicopter was a interesting description of myself at the time.